So I'm Michael Maughan. I'm Curtis's cousin. I'm David's cousin, and all the Atkinson's cousin. So for me, I keep thinking back. The Layman and Lemuel story comes to me. So when I was younger, high school age, I remember being shipped to Michigan to come stay with the Atkinsons. My parents wanted to scare me straight from the loud rock and roll that I was listening to. So that's when I was introduced to the hardcore Mormon rap.
Yes.
So,
It was a rap.
yes.
It was a perfect replacement.
The original Mormon rap of, the Layman and Lemuel song. So I just remember that. I remember the blow push-ups. And then, so just going back on that trip, it was, fun hanging out with Curtis and David and Michael, even though Michael's a few years younger. I'm kind of straddled between. Valerie's 2 weeks older than me, so we could have been twins, just different moms. But I remember going on that trip, and I just remember just going to a beach party at a house, and little did I know Lake Michigan really had like big beaches, and, being from Arizona. We don't have water. There are no beaches. But I just remember feeling like, the life was like a high school teenage movie of, these beach parties with bonfires and just always looked up to, all my Atkinson cousins actually, but, without, David is the super funny, like, jokester. Curtis is extremely funny, but the exact opposite. And so for me growing up, it was like, if I could have just a little bit of both, I think I'd be all right. So, I have a little bit of Curtis and probably more of David, unfortunately. But no, just really good memories, and Curtis has always just been a great influence on my life, and just always, looked up to you. So, but yeah, just the hardcore Mormon rap.
Curtis, you need some water?
Yeah, I think that's it.
There might be some more.
Devin, you want to?
No, I can't.
I can go.
Well, I'll go before that.
Yeah, you go.
I was hoping Devin would say something.
I knew if I did that, you'd go.
I'm not a relief pitcher here. So I met Curtis, like most of you, when we were roommates on the East Coast, and
And you had a baby together?
yeah, we were working different jobs. I was a dog groomer, and Curtis was driving a limo. She drove me to the airport. She left a briefcase full of ransom money. And we took my work vehicle and drove across the country to find her in Aspen, Colorado. So, the rest is history. No, I met Curtis, it would have been 7 years ago. They were a family in San Francisco. And it was at a time in my life where I'd recently lost my mom, and my dad had been gone for a decade or so at that point. And so they were kind of like the surrogate parents that I really needed at that point in my life. And a couple years later, when I went through a divorce, I was super worried that I would lose them in the divorce, because they'd taken me and my ex-wife. And so I launched a shadow campaign to win them over and just endear myself and make sure it was the one I fought for, very specifically. And now, this is my daughter Stella, and my wife Melissa. I call Stella their first grandkid. Like they were there for me when I really needed it, and these are lifelong and beyond relationships. So. Here.
Well, you got to tell them that you have like several one-quote lines from Curtis.
I reserve the right to reinvent my career every 5 years. Yeah, that's Curtis. Yeah. Which wasn't what he meant, because I'm telling you that as a justification to reinvent my career weekly. No, I think it reminds me of when I would call home from my mission. My mom would really just talk 90% of the time, and then the hour, it was back when it was just an hour twice a year. and the time would be about up, and I would hear my dad breathing in the background, and then he would say, "I have some things to say." And then we what was it, like 3 weeks ago when we talked when y'all were in England, and it reminded me of that because Nettie sent me this picture of Curtís just listening, and it goes to show, like, you know, any observant person can become really, really smart and really, really deep, and if they have the curiosity and they have the wonder that people like Curtís Atkinson have. So, thanks, man. Love it.
You're gonna say something?
Well, luckily I'm really beautiful when I cry.
Oh, I didn't know you were gonna say something.
How could I not? Well, so I'll cry. Thank you for everybody being here. Scott, he hated it when I drove fast. He used to drive to the temple. And he's like, "Do you have to go 90?" And then who else thought was intimidated and wondered if they didn't like him? I thought for 6 months we were dating, I didn't think he liked me. Some things you don't know about Curtís that I think are so cool is he always advocated for every female that worked for him. Not in a creepy, I want something back kind of a way. He always advocated for women. Recently, he has a Russian employee who sent him this sort of passive-aggressive message saying that she should get a raise. And he didn't get angry, he didn't get defensive, he didn't get furious, he got curious. And he said, "Ekaterina, you definitely deserve a raise. You're incredible, you're one of my best employees, but you don't ever say that you exceed expectations, and that's what you need to say." So instead of getting angry, he sat with her for 3 hours and showed her the compensation plan and talked her through it. And she said, "Well, if in Russia, if I say these things, I get fired." She said, "You're so good, you're gonna be working internationally your whole life." And he showed her how to advocate for herself. And I think if you talk to, and then he helped her get a new internship in something else she wanted to do, which she's done all the time. The other thing that you guys all miss out on is seeing Curtís dance around the house, which is so great. And the one thing I wanted to say, which will make me cry, Curtís shows love in the simplest things. We got this is so stupid, but we got this smoothie mix with bananas, and I hate bananas. And I didn't want the bananas in my smoothie, it's stupid. But I went down that morning and he'd taken all the bananas out of the smoothie. And he just always shows love in these simplest ways. And like the other day, I was at my dad's house. My dad is older and he gets cold easy, so the heat is just pumping in and we're so uncomfortable. So Curtís searched the whole house. I didn't know he was doing this for a fan. And he couldn't find one except a hand fan. And he just came and sat by me and just hand fanned me. So, what else do we want to say about Dad? There's just too much, right? He's the best thing that ever happened to me. So we're devastated. So we appreciate you all being here and all your help. Because it's going to be new for us moving forward. We depend on him and we enjoy him, and he makes life so much more fun and funny. And he's given us such a good life, you guys, right? So we love you. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone, for sharing. I'm sure there are a lot more stories, and so we have a phone downstairs for recording, and you also have your own phones that you can also record. Please
Can send to you, right?
Yeah, so please send your memories, your stories, whether they're written, audio, video, pictures. It's important for all of us that love Curtís to, and we all just know these pieces, and we're, you know, whenever I meet somebody that knows Curtís, I kind of discover again how great he is. And tonight's another testament to that. So anyway, thank you everyone, and so please send those things, and we've got some more socializing to do. So let's get to it.